Officer Jake Hoyt of the Los Angeles Police Department has applied to join the Narcotics Division with the aim of leveraging it as a stepping stone to rapidly advance to a detective position. He is assigned to an evaluation overseen by seasoned narcotics officer Detective Alonzo Harris. After their initial introduction, Hoyt quickly realizes that Alonzo has little regard for protocol. They start the day by setting up a sting operation on some college students purchasing cannabis from a known informant. Once they seize the drugs from the students, Alonzo attempts to convince Jake to smoke some of it. Initially, Jake declines for ethical reasons, but Alonzo's persuasion escalates into intimidation when he threatens Jake at gunpoint. Under duress, Hoyt reluctantly complies as Alonzo justifies it as a lesson in street smarts, warning that refusal on the streets could be fatal. Shortly after, Alonzo reveals to Hoyt that the cannabis he consumed was laced with PCP, leaving Hoyt deeply unsettled. While Hoyt is still under the influence of the drug, they visit Roger, a retired narcotics officer. During their conversation, they chat about how Alonzo's perspective has shifted since joining the division and Roger's plans to retire abroad using his life savings. Roger subtly mentions Alonzo's recent difficulties in Las Vegas. As they head back on patrol, Hoyt spots a pair of hardcore drug addicts attempting to assault a teenage girl in an alley. Driven by his sense of justice, Hoyt exits the vehicle to intervene. Despite being under the effects of PCP, Hoyt manages to subdue both attackers with ease while Alonzo watches from the sidelines. As Hoyt's high begins to fade, the girl flees, and Alonzo continues to intimidate the assailants. Hoyt discovers the girl's wallet on the ground and takes it. Alonzo seizes the opportunity to lecture Hoyt on morality, asserting that they shouldn't waste their energy on minor offenses. He tells Hoyt that if he's interested in dealing with such cases, he should stay a patrolman rather than pursuing a role in narcotics. Later that day, Alonzo and Jake arrest a wheelchair-bound dealer named Blue, discovering crack rocks and a loaded handgun in his possession. Fearing a long prison sentence, Blue agrees to provide information on his associate, Kevin Sandman Miller, who is currently incarcerated. Upon arriving at Sandman's location, a stunned but compliant Hoyt learns that they plan to use a fake search warrant to gain entry into the home. While Hoyt is holding Sandman's wife and nephew, Alonzo conducts a search of the house. After they wrap up their operation, Sandman's wife discovers that Alonzo has stolen $40,000 from the home. She alerts nearby gang members, who open fire on Alonzo and Jake as they try to escape. Alonzo retaliates with gunfire, while a panicked Hoyt gets the car started. Once they manage to escape, Hoyt chastises Alonzo for his reckless behavior. Alonzo, however, defends his actions, arguing that his approach has been more effective than strictly adhering to the rules. He contends that the criminals he deals with are dishonorable and that adopting their tactics is necessary to gain the upper hand. During lunch, Alonzo and Hoyt visit Alonzo's mistress, Sarah, and their young son in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in LA. Afterward, Alonzo meets with a trio of corrupt high-ranking police officials he refers to as the Three Wise Men. They inform Alonzo that they know about his recent trouble in Vegas and advise him to leave town. Alonzo, confident in his control over the situation, negotiates with them, offering the money stolen from Sandman in exchange for an arrest warrant. Alonzo and Hoyt, joined by 4 other narcotics officers, head to apprehend the drug dealer named in the arrest warrant. When they arrive, they find it is Roger's house, where Roger is now making money dealing drugs. As the situation grows more tense, Alonzo tries to convince Jake to shoot Roger, promising him a guaranteed promotion to the division. It soon becomes evident that the other officers are just as corrupt as Alonzo. When Jake refuses to carry out the shooting, Alonzo does it himself. The officers then plan to cover up the murder as a case of resistance to arrest. Jake firmly rejects being an accomplice to the murder, and Alonzo retaliates by mocking what a news broadcast about Jake's death during the bust would sound like. Jake grabs Alonzo's shotgun, leading to a tense Mexican standoff with the other officers. Alonzo then blackmails Jake by threatening to expose his earlier use of PCP-laced cannabis. Alonzo promises he can falsify any blood tests the LAPD conducts, which would otherwise reveal the drug. Realizing that the day's events were orchestrated and fearing for both his career and his life, Jake reluctantly agrees to help cover up the murder. The officers search Roger's premises and find $4 million, which they divide among themselves. Alonzo then offers Hoyt a share of the money, but Hoyt continues to refuse it. Alonzo uses the entire situation to reinforce his view that this is the way the world operates. Later that evening, Alonzo drives Jake to the home of Smiley, a Sureño, on a seemingly routine errand. While Alonzo goes to the bathroom, Jake, feeling uneasy, ends up playing poker with Smiley and his gang members as he waits for Alonzo to return. During the game, Smiley discloses the full extent of Alonzo's trouble in Vegas. Alonzo had killed a man who was a significant member of the Russian mafia. By midnight, Alonzo must pay $1 million to the Russians or be killed himself. Jake realizes that the day was orchestrated so Alonzo could gather the money needed to cover his debt. He soon discovers that Alonzo has betrayed him, paying Smiley to kill him. Despite Jake's attempts to resist, he is beaten and dragged to the bathroom to be executed. A gang member searches Jake for money before he is killed and discovers the teenage girl's wallet. The Sureños interrogate Hoyt about the wallet, which belongs to Smiley's cousin. After hearing Jake's story about saving the girl, they cross-check with her and confirm his account. Moved by Jake's actions and sense of honor, Smiley decides to show his gratitude by letting Jake go. Jake returns to Sarah's apartment to arrest Alonzo, leading to a gunfight and a chase. The confrontation spills out onto the street, where Alonzo is eventually subdued. As the entire neighborhood gathers to watch the scene unfold, Alonzo tries to sway the crowd by offering money to anyone who kills Jake. However, the crowd's disdain for being treated as dishonorable thugs prevents them from intervening. Jake and Alonzo engage in a clash of ideologies, and the crowd quickly identifies Jake as a principled cop fighting for justice, while recognizing Alonzo as someone who has abused his power for personal gain. A man from the crowd holds Alonzo at gunpoint, giving Jake the opportunity to take the money, which he plans to use as evidence against Alonzo. Desperate and cornered, Alonzo makes threats to the crowd, but his words are ignored as Jake walks away with the money, leaving Alonzo's pleas unanswered. Later, Alonzo flees to Los Angeles International Airport, but his car is intercepted by the Russians, who ambush him and riddle him with bullets. Jake returns home to find the news reporting on Alonzo's death, which eerily mirrors the threats Alonzo had made to him earlier. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more film caps.